Hi, my name is Piff Dragon. First of all, I don't believe in masterclasses because here's the thing. How many masters do you actually know in the world of magic? I know like maybe 3 and one of them's dead. So there's that. Everyone else is like, I mean, they're good, but they're not masters. So who's a master of magic? Name a master.
Johnny Thompson.
Yeah, he's dead. Exactly. I was thinking of Johnny. He's dead though, so it doesn't count. So that's the problem. So let's just call this Piff the Magic Dragon's regular class. How about that? Let's do that. Should be the title of this whole thing. Piff the Magic Dragon's regular class. Hello, it's me, John, the regular human. Welcome to the Piff the Magic Dragon Masterclass. Now, this is a bit of a strange way this came about. What happened was, as you know probably, the Vanishing Ink warehouse burnt to the ground, and Andy and Josh have been asking me to do a masterclass for a long time, and I was like, no, and I was like, and then I saw the warehouse burn, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I could just do it as a nice thing, and they can use the proceeds of this masterclass to help rebuild their business after the fire. So I said to Andy, look, if you want me to do a masterclass, I'm very happy to do one and just use the proceeds to rebuild. And he said, oh, actually, we've got insurance, so everything's fine. But the problem was, now I'd said that I was going to do a masterclass, so they knew I was weak, and here I am doing a masterclass. So this is I'm fine. This is a masterclass about some different stages of my career. So I started out as a close-up magician, and it was okay, but I sort of felt like I was in the catering industry rather than show business. You know, people would buy a close-up magician like they buy champagne for the guests, and I wasn't really very good at it. I got fired all the time for being too grumpy, which was correct. They were right to fire me, because imagine you book a magician for your wedding and this turns up. Nobody wants this. So I started wanting to get into more of the show business side of things, and specifically, I wanted to get into stand-up comedy. And then I came up with this idea of Piff the Magic Dragon at a Christmas party that I went to, where I was wearing a dragon outfit and no one else was in costume. It was just me. And my friend said, you should do this in your act. You could be Puff the Magic Dragon. I said, wait, I could be Piff the Magic Dragon. You might have heard of my older brother, Steve. And I came up with a line immediately, and I was like, that's worth doing. So I started doing it, and I took some of my old material from being a close-up magician, and I repurposed it for Piff, and then some of the material I made fresh. And when I first started, it was just me, and I had a rule, and the rule was I needed to get ready in 3 minutes. Actually, 2 rules. Get ready in 3 minutes, and everything goes in a bag. And the getting ready in 3 minutes I still live by. That was a good rule. But everything fits in a bag. I started doing these gigs, and I was doing okay, but I wasn't killing. And I did a show with Max Somerset, and he ended the show by producing a live chicken out of nowhere, and it crushed. And it got such a big reaction. I was like, hey, I need to not limit myself to everything I can carry in the bag. I need to do whatever it takes to make the gig good. So about a year after I'd been doing stuff by myself, I went to the Edinburgh Festival, and the girl who was running the venue, she had a Chihuahua. The Chihuahua was called Nacho, and I was like, and my publicist said, you should put that dog in your act, it'd be funny. So we put him in, and it was hilarious. It was amazing. Sorry, people were just shouting. I'm in my dressing room at the Flamingo, and there are some very inconsiderate people just shouting. They don't know that I'm doing a Vanishing Ink masterclass. They don't have the appropriate level of respect that the Vanishing Ink masterclass needs. So anyway, I go, okay, I'm just going to do whatever it takes. And I got this dog, and the dog came my act. So then I went into a different phase. The first phase was really me, solo, everything fits in a bag. And the second phase was me and a dog. And everything fit in a car. That was the new rule. Everything had to fit in. I learned to drive when I was about 30 or something, and everything had to fit in the car. And then that went on for a long time. That phase, me and Mr. Piffles, and then I went on America's Got Talent, I moved countries. I went on America's Got Talent. I got my own show at the Flamingo, and I started to tour all over the place. And Jade, who is the showgirl in my show, she's on this masterclass, and her and I were together. We were already dating, and I said, "Hey, I need somebody to help out in the act, and I'm going to be away a lot. So do you want to come on tour?" And so we went on tour together, and that sort of began a third phase, which is like a triple act: me, Jade, and Mr. Piffles. Because suddenly I had an extra pair of hands, a bit like Penn and Teller, become a four-handed magic act. And then there was one last phase in my career, which I mean, hopefully not the last phase, my current phase, and that is me, Jade, Mr. Piffles, and a team. And what that means is we have people backstage, we have people running the lights, running the sounds, running the crew backstage, and we can do a lot more. So this masterclass is going to take most of it is going to come from my solo act. This is the stuff that I did on my own. Didn't need anybody for. Didn't need a dog for. It was just me and this material. That's part one. That's most of part one. Then at the end of part one, we're going to talk about some close-up material that I think is worth revisiting. And we're actually, as a bonus, we're going to give you a booklet called Card Tricks for Money, which I published when I was younger, and talks about a lot of the close-up material. And then part two is going to focus on a couple of things that I still do now. Most of those are on tour. And the reason I do those things on tour rather than in Vegas we have tricks like we find somebody's watch in 25 pounds of Jell-O, and it's in the middle of the Jell-O in a sealed jar of peanut butter. The dog, he urinates any drink named by the audience. Somebody says, "I'd like a Budweiser, please," and my dog pisses Budweiser into a glass, and then I make them drink it. We have a child shits a playing card in the show, and stuff like that. It's so specific to the Flamingo show and how that show is set and the stage design and everything like that we can't tour that stuff anymore. We can't tour that material. So we do a whole different show on the road, and some of that material on the road is kind of like worth talking about, because the stuff at the Flamingo I could tell you, and and I'm sure you'd enjoy learning how it works, but nobody's going to do it because you need a theater in Las Vegas with a union crew and 25 yes men. So the tour stuff, though, I do think there are like some tricks that you can just use as is, and also some tricks that you could just tweak slightly and would become good pieces. You could tailor them to your own specifications. In the book, I said, I'm not giving you permission to do these tricks. I wrote a book called Piff the Magic Book, Volume 1, and I said, hey, I'm not giving you permission to do these tricks. Well, on the masterclass, I am. If you want to do any of these tricks, be my guest. Change them as much as you can or as much as you want to, because I always think it's better just to have some stamp of your own personality. But look, if you don't want to, if you want to do it as is, whatever you want to do, just be my guest. All of this stuff you can have. There's my sponge bunny rabbit routine, which was like a prize possession. That routine has got me so much work and crushed so many gigs. But it's a long time now since I've been doing it. So, there was a guy that came up to me once and he was like telling me about the fact that he was doing my routine. And at the time I hadn't released it and he didn't have permission. But if you're watching now, whatever your name was from Bristol, go for it. Sponge Bunny Rabbits, it's all on you. So I hope you enjoy the masterclass. I wish I'd never been so nice to Andy and Josh, and said that I'd agreed to do a masterclass, but I did, and I'm now quite pleased I did actually, secretly. I had quite a nice time doing it, and that's it, unless I remember anything else that I should have said, in which case I'll make another video after this. Alright, enjoy the masterclass. Oh, there is actually one more thing I wanted to say, and that is that a lot of the material in part one is very what's the word? Straightforward. It's like, it's the stuff I did when I was on my own and I couldn't have anyone else helping me, and I was doing comedy clubs, so I had to just go up on stage with a suitcase and leave with a suitcase. Couldn't have anything going on. So as a result, that material served me really well. But I think the stuff in part 2 coming up, you're going to really like. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this week. Gives a nice foundation of everything we're going to talk about over the course of this masterclass. But if you're watching it going, oh, this is a bit straightforward, I can pretty much figure this out myself, don't worry. Part 2 is coming. We've got some gold. All right, so let's start with a very classy string section. Maybe something like the Four Seasons, but classy. Because it's going to be a very classy shoot today, right? I wore my best skin. I'm ready for classy masterclass. I was on the original, when the thing that you're ripping off, the actual masterclass. Now, I was actually on one of those. Nobody else. You've never done a masterclass with somebody who's been on a masterclass. I was on a masterclass. It was me, Penn Jillette, Teller, Johnny Thompson. I mean, yeah, Matt Donnelly was there, but that doesn't count. The point is, I was on an actual master. It was very classy. They had tracks and dollies and other words that I don't understand what they mean. So we got 3 static cameras. That's not as good. But the point is, if you have some nice classy music, now, and then I'll walk into shot and I'll be like, hello, I'm Piff the Mad Dragon. Welcome. And then I'll just look to another camera, to my masterclass. All right, that'll be a good start, right? Yep, you don't care. You're just a room full of yes men. Here we go. Classy string music. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, my name's Piff the Mad Dragon. You might have heard of my older brother, Steve. Welcome to my masterclass. And then poof, some music, and then we cut in shots of the dog and Jade and me kissing Heidi Klum, even though we can't technically use that footage for legal purposes. And then we come back. Hello, my name is Piff the Mad Dragon. Welcome to my masterclass. Because it's very important you repeat the thing you just said, in case they forgot during the titles. Are we doing titles? Now I'm using this camera. That's a pro. Look at that. I've used all 3 cameras in less than a minute. All right, let's start with a trick. I gotta find my trick. Do you have titles in between things? Do you cut and you go to title? You don't? Well, mine's gonna be the first. You have to do it for mine. All right? Promise? Say I, George.
I, George.
Promise that I'm gonna do fancy titles and...
Promise that we're gonna do fancy titles.
Fancy titles and transitions. What?
And transitions.
And transitions. Wait. Stop that transition. Stop the transition. I forgot to say something. Hello, I'm Piff the Mad Dragon. Welcome to my masterclass, etc. Listen, we're going to start with my original act. What? Yeah, that's right. The very first magic tricks I did as Piff the Mad Dragon. That's how we're going to start this masterclass. So let's start with my very first opening trick. Transition. Hello. This is how I would start my act. I'd walk out with my tacular just there, and I'd be like, good evening, my name is Piff the Mad Dragon. You might have heard of my older brother, Steve. A line which I'll be saying at least 11 more times. And then I would say, welcome to the Piff-tacular. I'm Piff, this is my tacular. And I'd show this, and then I'd flip it up, and I'd go boom, because it was a harbin table, and I'd put it down next to me, and I'd say 500 pounds. Because I was in England then, where everything is measured in weight. And then I would say, I'd like to begin this evening with a few impressions of a baby ghost. And I would go into my tacular. Now, today I'm going to be using this table to keep things that would normally be in my tacular. So let's just pretend that I'm in my tacular here. Okay? And I go, all right, here we go. And I'd sort of fumble around for a little bit, purposefully, actually, you must know. And then I come out like this. Impression number 1. Regular baby ghost. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Impression number 2. A sleepy baby ghost. Oh. Thank you. Why are you so tired? Oh, he says because he's addicted to the 24-hour news cycle in this country and he can't get any rest. Impression number 3, a naked baby ghost. Oh no! Whoa, whoa. Look at him, he's so naked. Impression number 4, a teenage spirit. Oh, what? Boom. It's a bottle of Mike's Hard Lemonade. Explosion when we get the budget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about my very first act. This is part 1 of the masterclass. I'll talk to you about the first bunch of material I came up with when I started, because I only had like 3 minutes when I started. That's all the stage time I could get. And eventually I would get up to like 15 or 20 minutes. So this is all the material from when I very first started to when I was like doing like 15, 20 minutes. And then I decided to do my own full-length show. And some of that material I'm going to talk about too. But you're not having any of the new stuff, all right? I'm taking that to the grave. Actually, some of it I wrote about in the book because I ran out of material and needed to fill a few pages. So this first thing that I did wasn't always the first thing that I would do on stage. Sometimes if it didn't have that long, then I would just cut to my ending trick. Because I always thought, if you haven't got much time, then you got to hit them with your strongest bit first. But we'll talk about that, ironically, at the end of these explanations of the first material. But just anyway, let's talk about the first trick I would do on stage. It was impressions of a baby ghost. And it came, there's a comedian called Bill Bailey. That's right, Bill Bailey? I've left the UK, I no longer care about it. There was a comedian called Bill Bailey in the UK, and he had this joke. And it was like, the other day, I walked along the street, and I saw a dead baby ghost. And I picked it up, and then I realized it was a tissue. That was his joke, right? And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny, like, that a tissue is a baby ghost. So I came up with this thing of doing impressions of a baby ghost. And I would, at the time I was working in a lot of restaurants and had these cloth napkins. So I took that, and that's how I paid my way to get into stand-up in comedy, because it doesn't pay anything. You like open mic nights, you really get paid. And even like when you do your first set, you get made £20 or something, like $30. So I did close-up magic in restaurants all the time. And then I would go and do stand-up on the nights I wasn't working in a restaurant. And I would try my material in the restaurant, and it would usually bomb. But this is one of the ones I did on stage in comedy clubs and in the restaurants. I would use a cloth napkin. And originally when I did it, I just drew on the little eyes with Sharpie. I drew them on. But we started doing this in the pandemic, we threw this trick into a routine we did called Piff's Magic Box. And Gabriel, who works with me, he came up with the idea of googly eyes. So this is the deluxe version of Baby Ghost with googly eyes. Okay, so that's what you need. This is any cloth napkin from a restaurant. What's that, like 15 inches? I don't know. What's that in size? 15 inches square. And then you'll also need a set of these. These are called peepers, and you can buy them on Amazon like everything else. And I like just stretch them out because I need to take them on and off. So I like them to be nice and easy to drop on the table. Okay, you need peepers. I got yellow because they contrast to my green. See, I even thought about the color. And then you need a drink. Now for this, it's in my pocket already. For this, the line I have at the end is the last impression is a teenage spirit from Nirvana. And I used to use Smirnoff Ice, which I don't, maybe they have it over here, I don't know. But we start, in America, we use Mike's Hard Lemonade. And usually it's full. So there are two things that happen. First of all, we forgot to bring lemonade today. And then I was like, I don't think this has been washed in 3 years. So I decided to not put any other liquid in it. So that's why I produced an empty bottle, all right? Yeah, there was thought behind it. There was not enough thought, because otherwise we would have washed it and had actual lemonade. But anyway, that's the history behind the empty bottle. So in my dragon outfit, I got somebody to make a pocket. This was in my first dragon outfit too, that hit a bottle. Because there's nothing really that groundbreaking about starting off with a bottle production, but it is eye-catching. People do sort of sit up and take notice. So I was like, hey, maybe the first thing I should do is produce a bottle of liquid. So in the very first dragon outfit, I got this pocket made, and it's down the front, and it's just about the size of a bottle, and the top of the bottle is just beneath the rim of the pocket. So if you're doing, when I would do it in a restaurant in like a jacket, and I used to wear like a jacket, a t-shirt, and regular trousers, and I would just stuff it down the front of my trousers, and it would be hidden with my jacket. That's how I would do it. But today I'm a dragon, so much easier when you're a dragon. All right. So I'd have all this. I'd walk on stage with this in my pocket, full of liquid, and sometimes I would forget it, and I would get to the microphone, and I would do impressions of a baby ghost, and I would have no finish. So I would just stop. And the whole point of this bit is you're kind of testing the audience's patience a bit. You're kind of like pushing them a little. So it's very unwise to not end with a bottle production, because that really is the end of the trick. And the audiences weren't happy when I forgot. All right. So I would start with this in my case. I'd walk out, say, hello, I'd like to start with some impressions of a baby ghost using a regular napkin. And then in my case, I would put the peepers on. And I would cover them with the napkin. And I would come up to here. I'd say, impression number 1, regular baby ghost. And then I would do something I stole from Jeffrey Durham, which is just to say thank you a lot. Jeffrey would do the Torn and Restored newspaper, and then he would pretend it's gone back together, and he would say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I used to do that. Then I'd say impression number 2, a sleepy baby ghost, and I would just take the corner. Oh, he's tired. He's tired. That's it. Impression number 3, I would say a naked baby ghost, and I'll come here, and as I'm up here, now my hand goes here, and my thumb just goes right into the neck of the bottle. It's just on my thumb, and then I would pull the bottle out of the pocket behind the napkin as I would go around with the naked eyes, and then say the 4th and final impression, a teenage spirit. And all I would do was come up underneath the napkin, and we'd pull it around the bottom of the bottle and push it through, and say a teenage spirit, and drop and throw the rest away. So that's a very simple explanation of my opening trick, impressions of a baby ghost. Hello, it's me, Piff the Magic Dragon. You might have heard of my older brother, Andy.
Gladwin.
Andy Gladwin.
Thank you.
Well, you can't say the second name because then we won't be brothers. You should be Andy the Magic Dragon.
Andy Dragon.
The Magic Dragon.
Andy Dragon.
All right, fine. Andy, we're going to... This is a trick I used to do. Wait, what? This is a trick that was in my original Piff set, but I remixed it a bit, and I still use it whenever I do press, or whenever I do something on the podcast. All we need is a little frying pan. And do you have any playing cards?
No.
Oh my God! Where did they come from? My pocket. Andy, you're gonna name a playing card. Could be literally any playing card.
4 of hearts.
4. You want to change your mind?
No, I'm happy.
We're gonna just clean the frying pan with the magic cloth. That's actual dirt. Okay, here we go. 4 of clubs. Like a dragon. You ready?
Yeah. I think I said 4 of hearts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
4 hearts?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Like a dragon. Every single one of the cards burnt to a crisp, except for one card and one card only. The 4 of hearts. Ta-da! We need to evacuate the building now because the sprinkler system is about to go off. I'm not doing that trick again. Hello, this is a routine I used to call burnt. And I actually did it in the way, I performed it the way that we currently perform it, because I still do this trick. I do it when I do TV, or when I go in to do a show, we have to do morning press, and this is one of the tricks I do on morning press, or if I'm doing a podcast, I'll do this. But this wasn't the way that I originally started doing it. The way I originally started doing it was I would have a jumbo deck of playing cards, and I actually got a gig doing a magic convention. It was something like the Ipswich Magic Convention. I don't remember. And I decided to make it at the magic convention. And it took 3 hours. And I covered the whole thing I covered all of the dressing rooms in roughing spray gas. And people were very upset with me. But the trick worked. So I used to just start with it like this. Used to take out the deck, I would say name a card, and then I think I would blow on the cards, and then I would show one card is either burnt, or every card is burnt except for one card. So all it is the invisible deck, but 26 of the cards look like they're burnt. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. So here it is. This is the burnt side, and then this is the unburnt side. So if they name an even card, then every card will be burnt except for one. So say the 2 of diamonds, all of the cards burnt to a crisp except for one card just there. Okay, the 2 of diamonds. And if they say the opposite, so let's say they said the 3 of diamonds, then I would show the other side of the deck. All of the cards burnt to a crisp except for one card just here. I'm sorry, all of the cards completely unscathed except for one card just here. Okay. And that's the trick. I love my favorite trick of all time is the invisible deck. I weirdly still get gigs doing close-up magic as a dragon, and they're my favorite because when I used to do regular magic and I would walk up to a table and I'd have to interrupt them, I'd be like, "Oh, hello, have you seen the magician? No, ta-da, I'm here," and I was always little bit forced. Whereas when I started doing close-up magic as Piff, I would just walk into a room and then go and help myself to the canapes. And eventually somebody would be like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" And I'd be like, "Don't worry, buddy, you can relax." And they'd be like, "No, what are you doing?" And I'd be like, "It's not for you." And they'd be like, "No, seriously, why are you here?" And I'd be like, "Oh God, all right, do you have any playing cards?" "No." "Oh, all right, fine, just take these playing cards." And I would hand them nothing. And I would get them to do invisible deck to a couple of people around them. And basically, people would be begging me to do magic because I absolutely refused to give it up easily. I would just say, no, yeah, I'm too good for this. And so I used to love doing close-up magic. So invisible deck's always been one of my favorite tricks. And I still use it today. But this is where I'm doing anything a bit more formal on stage, or like I say, on TV. Okay, so to make this, there are 2 routes you can take. I almost said route because I've been in America too long. Ugh. This is the first version I did, and I got a lighter or something, and I burnt the cards with a lighter, or maybe a match. It's really difficult to burn cards and get them all ashy and keep them usable. So it just took a long time. And then also you have to get the smoke in the middle of the cards. Otherwise, and you can see here on this one that you can see the ash on the edges of the card. And so the edges of the card look a bit gross. You could probably, thinking about it, you could probably just nail file that off. But that's now when I think about things a bit more, not when I made this, when I didn't really used to think that much. Okay, so that was and then you'd roughing spray it, and then I think I used fanning powder on it to make it spread again. It's a bit of a nightmare doing it this way. But that's the way you can do it with actual fire. Or you can track down some of these. These are Series 1800 playing cards. This is Series 1900, and they're made to look super old, and as a result, they also look burnt. And this is the deck that I've got ready to make into an invisible deck when I either when this one is too old to use anymore or I lose it. So they come like this. This is like how the cards come. And so I found these and I was like, this is great. And this is what I use instead now. And it looks totally fine. That means that you just need to use roughing spray and the deck's perfect. The using smoke is really tricky. So if you can get hold, if you want to do this trick, if you decide that you want to devote your life to being a dragon and want to do fire-based magic tricks without the flames, then you can get hold of this Series 1800 or Series 1900. The only thing that looks different, the Ace of Spades don't look different. So use the use the the burnt cards or the even cards. I don't know. Whatever, you'll figure it out. Just don't use the ace of spades. All right, and then the other half of the deck is just a regular deck. So you made that into an invisible deck. Now, I think this is common knowledge, but let's just double check. The way that I have an invisible deck set up, and it doesn't come like this anymore. I thought it came like this from the Magic dealer from Murphy's or whoever. But when I've done this recently, I've had to turn over the cards to get there. Anyway, it goes ace, jack, 3, 9, 5, 7, 7, 5. And then it mirrors that way. But what it means is that to find the card, you can look for the card in the middle. So let's say I want to find the 4 of hearts, right? I know it's this side, and it's between the 3 and the 5, and that's the 4. Is that a thing? That's not everyone knows that, right? No? Oh. So somebody taught me this 8 years ago, and I can't remember who it was. And then it's the same thing on this side. Ace, 3, 5, 7, 9, jack, and king. And then this way, ace, 3, 5, 7, 9, jack. So you can, it's a super easy way to do the invisible deck. You just know that if I'm looking for the 10 of clubs, it's going to be between the 9 and the jack. Or if I'm looking the other way around, the 5 is between the 4 and the 6. So whose is that? You guys don't know? But do you guys know that? You ever seen it?
No.
Oh.
Because it's normally adding up to 13.
Yeah, you normally have to add out to 13, right?
Yeah.
And somebody taught me this, and I was like, that's way easier.
It's way better.
And to get it and to set it, you just have to like reverse half the deck when you get them. So anyway, maybe we get a little close up of that. I think that's all of the cards, so that you can see the order. That's how my invisible deck is kept. Now, ironically, for this, you don't need to worry about that. I'm just threw in a little invisible deck tip there because you know might be the only thing you get out of this whole thing. When I'm doing this as a stand-up piece, I'm just spreading through the cards and looking for the right one and splitting it and shoving it up. So I used to do it without the frying pan, without the flash paper, without the sneeze when I first started, and it was fine. But eventually I dropped it because I got better material. But when we started doing press and I was looking for tricks to do, I remember this one, and we worked a bit and we kind of like just punched it up a little. Also, by the way, I put the ace of spades facing this spade here, so I remember which way round it is in the deck. Okay, so that starts on the table, in your pocket, wherever. And then I just have, this is a small frying pan, it's like $8, and some flash paper and a lid. And then I have a Piff the Magic Dragon sneeze. These were created by Richard Pinner back in the day when I very first started this act. And he said, oh, you should do like a sneeze, and you should sneeze fire. And he made these. The first one he made didn't have a safety in, so I just used to sneeze holes in my pocket. Did that about 3 times. And so finally we put an on-off switch on it. And I don't use these very often at all because it's such a pain now to do anything with a flame in a venue. So when we're doing, when we tour, or even when we do the show in Vegas, we don't have any flames because we don't want to have to pay for a fire safety marshal to come in. But when I do a podcast or when I do press, I just don't bother telling anyone I'm going to do this, and then it's too late once I've done it, and everyone's happy anyway because it looked good. So this has got an on-off switch. It's got a battery in a minute, which we'll come to it in a second. And this first part here is a copper tube. This one looks about 1 inch wide, and this is, you get a very big sneeze out of this one. At the bottom of it, it's got a smaller tube, and in that is a plug, and it's a solid round piece of copper with a hole drilled through it, and the hole's threaded, and you place a what are they called? Glow plug. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, glow plug. You put a glow plug in the bottom. So this is a little tip that I got given by an amazing prop builder, and this makes the whole thing work 100%. You get the hot glow plugs. They come in different heats. You want to get a very hot one. And then you run it off a 3 point, it's either a 3.7 or a 3 amp battery. They're called the CR123 batteries, and they're the short fat ones. What it does is it drives much more current than you should drive through the glow plug, and it becomes super hot and it instantly burns the flash cotton. Now, once you've done that, you wire it all up so that the switch works 100% every time, and you change the glow plug regularly. This, because we don't use it, is not wired up like that. This button is a bit hit or miss. See, that first time I pressed, it didn't work. But these take like a day to make, and we don't use it anymore. So you guys didn't get a fresh one. I'm sorry. Just, you know what? Sue me. That's why it's not a masterclass. That's why it's a regular class. Okay? But if you want to make this, I would definitely suggest getting all that wiring firing 100%. And also, every 20 shows, just change the glow plug. They're like $5, so they're not expensive. Okay, now, where the glow plug is, there's a small recess around the glow plug. And what that's for, is another handy tip. You have to check whether the thing's on or off. This is on, and it's very good to check without flash cotton in it. I have tested whether this is on or off multiple times by looking down it when it's full of flash cotton and pressing the button, and shot myself in the face with flash cotton multiple times. I don't know why, but I've done it. So if you want to do it, be my guest, or you could just heed my warning. So you're going to take a little piece of flash cotton, like a pea-sized amount, and roll it into a tiny ball. And then you drop it in the sneeze gimmick, and then you push it in with like just a blunt. This is a chopstick, just a blunt end of a chopstick, and you just squish it in. Now, that is going to catch fire as soon as the glow plug gets ignited. It's going to catch fire straight away. But it's wedged in there, and when you wedge something in and set it on fire, it like shoots out like a cannon, which is what you don't want to do. So that's why you only use a small bit to ignite it. Then you take a bigger piece, that'll probably be enough, and you gently push it in so that the small piece is going to ignite the big piece, but you only put it in very lightly so that it's not going to fly out. There's just going to be a big flame. Okay, so that's how you set those fire gimmicks. Like all this stuff, you're going to burn yourself a couple of times, and you might shoot yourself in the face with it. So if you do that, don't blame me. That's your own fault. And this isn't even a good idea. So, and you can't perform it anywhere. So just all the disclaimers out of the way. So you have your sneeze ready. We cover the playing cards and the frying pan. And then everything else should be pretty self-explanatory. There's the frying pan. You get them. I start by cleaning it out with the flash paper. That's how I justify the paper. I just give it a little wipe down. Then I take out the cards, toss them in here, fold the flash paper over it. I say name a card. Let's say they say the 4 of clubs. I go into my pocket, I take out the gimmick, turn it on, and I use it to set on fire the flash paper. Okay? Now what that does is set off the fire alarm. No, it didn't this time, that's a shame. So once it's burnt to a crisp, you then say, you said the 4 of clubs. In this case, remember, I'm going to show the odd side to the camera. And let's just be honest here. Often I don't even remember which side I'm supposed to show. So I open the box and I look and I see which side's burnt and which side's not. That's actually how I do it. Take out the cards. I'm looking for the 4 of clubs, which is just there. I split those cards. Every single one of the cards burnt to a crisp, except for one card over there, the 4 of clubs. And then I always reverse the card and put it back in so that the deck's reset. Because otherwise I'll forget to do it, and then the next performance I'll be screwed. And remember, I put the ace of spades facing a spade on the front. And that is the 2.0 version of the trick that was in my very first act that I used to call burnt. Sorry, we just need to add one more thing. Andy, could you just come in, please? Could you just come in? Sorry, guys. I've just been taken aside and scolded by Andy Gladwin. So off you go. Just say what you need to say.
I just thought it would be necessary for you to credit Jay Sankey for the creation of a trick called X, which is an invisible deck routine, where I think he was the first person in Magic to have two different reveals in an invisible deck, in the way that you had the burn. He either revealed a deck full of X's, and the named card was the only one without an X on it, or alternatively, it was a normal deck and there was an X on the deck. And we at Vanishing Ink believe that crediting is important, and because you didn't mention that, I just thought it would be most effective if we did a little pickup and contained that information.
I'd like to point out that I didn't know about that when I came up with this trick.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
It does mean something. And also, this is not an X, it's a burn mark.
Yeah, but we're looking at the general concept.
Well, are we?
Yeah, we are. Okay. I just think it's important to provide Magic credits, and I'll be doing this throughout, like I do for all masterclasses.
Listen, I just think that whoever this Jay Sankey is, he should just get over himself, all right? And, okay, you thought of the idea of X's, I thought of a burnt deck. What? So I'm going to publish a 3-volume set that goes out of print on day 1 and then becomes a super collector's edition. And, I'm just saying that maybe Jay Sankey has had enough credit.
But someone who a second ago didn't know who Jay Sankey was, now you know about his full back catalogue of books and history of how it sold. It's quite interesting.
Can we edit around that so it doesn't look like I know about Jay Sankey's best-selling collected works of 3 volumes of books that I have on my shelf? Listen, I'm just saying, I just think that Piff the Mad Dragon could do with some credits of his own.
Okay, let's credit you for the first person to use Jay Sankey's idea with Burns. All right, I'm out of here. This is why it's a regular class. It's not even that sometimes.
This is some bullshit. Hello, it's me, Piff the Mad Dragon. You might have heard of my older brother,
Andy Gladwin.
The
Dragon.
No?
Suit.
Magic Dragon. This was... you don't need to know. You don't need to know what I was about to tell you. It's not going to help you in your life, honestly. So let's just cut it out.
Can you tell me?
What? I can't. You got a little hair on your shoulder. It's disgusting. Can you get it? No, I get it. Oh, it's a rabbit. Oh, he says he's sorry, Andy. Oh, he's sorry. Look, he does little sorry. These are the ears of apology. Oh, he's so sorry. Oh, he's for you. He's a present. Oh, he gets shy. He goes up the sleeve, down into the pocket, over here, bang. Now we got. Oh, look, he's back. We're going to take him. We're going to saw him in half. Ta-da. Now we got 2. Thank you. Look. He's walking on water. Oh, he's drowning. And he tessellates. Wow. It's a good one. Doesn't play in America, that joke, for some reason, but works really well back at home. Here's the deal. You're going to squeeze that rabbit tightly like this. Squeeze. We're going to make them change places. Snap, snap. Open your hand. Boom. They've changed places. Thank you. Fine. I'll take one. You take the other in your left hand. Squeeze and blow.
Wow.
Did you just snap your fingers?
I think I did.
You snapped your fingers like it was you.
This is my trick.
Like you were taking the credit for my incredible bunny.
Look, take
hand.
one in your other. No. Okay.
Look, hold out both your hands like you're going to catch a baby. Don't move. Release the baby. There isn't a baby. We're in Josh's house. He doesn't have anything to do with it. Just move on. Squeeze. Do you know what happens if you put rabbits in a warm, dark place?
No.
They die. It's called an oven, but it's okay. You can bring them back. Blow. And open. Oh, wow. Ta-da. What? Oh, yeah, there's a penguin there. He's an exchange student. Wait, he's got no beak. His beak... where's his beak gone? Can you get a close-up on this? Who's getting the close? You, Mark's getting the close-up? Where's his beak? Who did that to him? Somebody's like ripped up his beak. That's kind of creepy.
It was this guy.
Yeah. That's all I've got for that one. Hello, it's me. Piftifer, the Magic Dragon. A lot of people don't know my name is short for Piftifer. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know that. I'd like to talk about the sponge rabbits, which I invented when I invented sponge balls. I am Al Gershman reincarnated.
Al Gershman didn't invent SpongeBob; he popularized it.
Moving on. This is I used to do this when this was a big transitional trick for me. I did this in Close-Up Magic. I've got Andy here to because I need somebody to hold the rabbits. So why am I explaining to you? Why I'm explaining it to him? Doesn't matter. This is a big part of my journey into comedy. This trick. Faye Presto, who taught me everything I know about earning money through doing close-up magic. Everything I know comes from Faye Presto. She had these rabbits, and she told me where to get them from, and I bought a set. They're from a guy. Oh, I've forgotten his name. Ed. What's his name?
Is it like Eddie Strange, Eddie something?
Eddie Ace.
Eddie Ace, there we go.
How can I forget your name, Eddie Ace? I'd like to apologize. Although I will say this, is that I did a gig. Eddie lives in Munhall, Pennsylvania. And I did a gig a few years ago, and I invited Eddie to it. And I didn't get a reply, and I did the show and left. And a week later, I checked my junk mail, and there was an email from Eddie. And it was, I'm at the box office, but they don't have a ticket for me. And he went home, unable to see the show. He couldn't see it. So I think maybe last year, 2023, we did a show there again. This time, I rang him up. I said, Eddie, listen, buddy, I'm so sorry about the last time. I want you to come. I would love you to come and see the show. It'd be an honor of mine if you come and see the show. And I made sure he got the tickets. He came backstage before the show, said hi. I said, listen, I'm going to do the rabbits tonight in honor of you. I can't tell you how much this trick has done for me. I performed it hundreds, if not thousands of times. Eddie, this trick has been, really, really great one for me. And thank you so much. And I said, after the show, come up to me and we'll take one last picture. And I'd just love to say hi after the show. And he didn't.
And he's not made a sponge bunny since.
I've never spoken to him since. Maybe he hates me. I don't know. Do you hate me, Eddie Ace? Do you? So anyway, if you can get hold of Eddie Ace, this is where you get the rabbits from. Now, these are adult rabbits, okay? And normally when he sells them, you get 2 of these and 5 baby ones. I think you get 5 baby ones. Now, when I started doing close-up magic, that was fine, and that's what I used. But when I started doing stage, I mean, even this is ridiculously small for stage. You have to have a camera. But I actually performed this once in front of 20,000 people with no camera. And it didn't go well, but nothing I did that day did. So it went as well as the other stuff. So now, this is the set I use. 2 jumbo, Eddie calls these jumbo rabbits. 2 jumbo rabbits, 7 adult rabbits, and an adult penguin. We'll get to the penguin in a minute. Okay, this is the setup. One goes in the right trouser pocket. And you know that pocket you have for smuggling drugs?
The little tiny one.
The little tiny one up at the top. Everyone knows that pocket for smuggling drugs. I smuggle bunnies up there, 2 jumbo ones. And then I just put all of these in my rear trouser pocket. And when I first had the dragon outfit made, I had side pockets and I stuck 2 jean pockets on the back, just here. Yeah. So they've been there since my very first outfit. I changed a lot of the pockets, as I talk about at some length during my book, Piff the Magic Book, Volume 1. Now in its 2nd print version, because thankfully the first print version went up in flames.
I can't
what?
do it. I can't do
just
it.
Come on. I'm just saying that some good came out of it.
I can't.
We had 13 proofreaders on that book. And the day it landed, I was one of the proofreaders. The day it landed on my doorstep, I ripped it open, I was very excited, went through the book, and immediately I saw that we'd repeated a page of the book. How do you explain that, Andy?
Because I was too busy having to lay out 400 pages of
What
photos
about the other
of a
12
BDP?
proofreaders, including me?
Yep, I know. I don't know.
Oh, don't start me on the photos for VDP.
If we had to listen to me, we wanted a 9x9 grid of photos, and Piff said, no, let's burn down 18 forests for these photos.
And now, it's sort of like a flick book.
Tell us more about Eddie Ace.
It's like a flick book.
I prefer the Eddie Ace stories.
So anyway, by the way, Eddie's slogan is, you name it, I'll carve it. I've actually got a few things that he's carved. Over here. Not those. These are some Eddie Ace creations. We've got a little sheep. Where's my close-up camera? Over there.
Did you name it?
What?
Did you special order it?
Well, here's the thing, right? I've named at least 7 things that Eddie Ace has not been able to carve. So, that's a lie, Eddie. Maybe that's why you're not speaking to me. All right, so there's a sheep and a baby sheep. Okay, we got a frog.
I'll put them nicely.
Yeah, the
hold them
frog.
up.
There's a piggy.
That's not a frog.
That's a frog.
I see.
His eyes fell off. And there's a little pig. Did you show it to the cat? Did you see that one? Yeah, it's quite a good pig. There's a kangaroo.
How is this useful masterclass content?
Here's it's useful regular class. Baby penguin.
Okay.
There's the head of a bull. I don't know what. There's a kangaroo in a different color. I asked Eddie, there's a horse's head. This is good for that Godfather trick. You leave it in the bed and, oh my God. Remember from the Godfather? He wakes up, there's a horse's head in his bed.
I've not seen it.
Here's a bag full of elephants. There's a chicken. And a duck. Oh, here's a gremlin. Remember from the movie Gremlins? Yeah.
You know, I'm going to have to code a ×2 speed button on the website.
And then also, I said I was doing a gig in Canada and I asked him to carve me a moose. I named a moose, and this is what he carved me. Why is it so two-dimensional? Eddie, you carved everything else in 3D. So that's a lot. He made me 2 of them. So anyway, if you want, you can use any of those as the ending for your trick. Because that would be nice. Imagine that, using some actual creative thinking to change one of these routines to fit you. No,
all right, I'll high five that.
All right, so everything's in position. Ready? We need to talk about sponge animals anymore? No. So this is the other reason I like this trick when I was doing close-up magic, because I could go up to a table and I could say, "Hi, my name's John. I'm sorry, you've got a little hair on your shoulder," and I would produce it off their shoulder like that. So straight away I was into the magic before I'd even told them what I was doing here. So that's why I like doing this on close-up tables. Originally, I think I said, "Oh God, hang on, I've got a little hair on my eye," and I would produce it from my eye. But that's a little gross, showing them your eyeball when they're trying to eat. So I went to hair on your shoulder. Okay, produce that, and then I give it to them. And this is a vanish that I originally learned with a napkin that you rub it together. Do you know what that is called?
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
I'm going to say sax, sleight of hand.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Let's say sax, sleight of hand. Yeah, but basically you roll it into a ball and you pretend to pull it off your thumb, and that's the vanish. And I just did it with a sponge rabbit. Okay, so I would take this and I just give it to the hand, place it into the hand, and say, "Oh, he got shy." And now I just squeeze the rabbit here and point. It goes up here, down here, and into the pocket. Watch. If we take them, we saw in half, and I've got one finger palmed here, so I just saw through the rabbit, and I now 2 rabbits. Thank you. Then I did this joke about walking on water. Then I did this tessellate joke, which in the UK always used to get a laugh. What, you don't have tessellate in America? Is that it? I don't know, but this has never been funny in America. They tessellate. If you don't know what tessellate means, Google it. So then I put one on the table and say, no, I put one in the hand. Squeeze. We're going to make the rabbits change places. Snap, snap, open your hand. They change places. And then I would do it again. Oh, no, wait. Then I would go. I forgot to do this, actually. I would take the head of the rabbit off and poof.
I want to try that.
That's pretty good, isn't it? You throw it back on the rabbit.
Thanks.
There we go. Yeah, perfect. So I'd pull the rabbit's head off. And on that laugh, I would do that same vanish from the beginning. Pick up the rabbit and get them to squeeze it. Blow. Now, they've got 2 rabbits in their hands. And then as they did that, I would put my hand in my pocket, get all of the animals. And then this bit, then I would try and use somebody else on the table because the person already knows what 2 rabbits feels like. And I would just get them to hold out their hand. And then I just shove all of that in their hand. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And the only thing I would say you have to be careful of here is that these rabbits are expensive. I can't remember how much a set is. I think it's definitely around $100, something like that. So you don't want to be going through multiple sets a night. So I would try and get them to open them so that they didn't go everywhere. Maybe over the table, but if there's food or candles, you don't want to do that. So just I just get them to open the hand slowly. Yeah. And then usually somebody would point out the penguin, and I used to say he's on work experience, but in America I say he's an exchange student. And that always used to get a big laugh. If you really want to stick another animal, this is one of those tricks that people have come up to me over the years, and they've been like, "Oh my God, I saw you do some show, and man, I love that thing with the penguin, and when I do it in my act, it gets a great laugh." And I'm like, I didn't say you could do it, but look, if you really, really need to put a different animal at the end of your sponge bunny routine, and you can't go to sleep because you just are tormented by the lack of another animal, just do it. Just do it. I've moved on. Just have it. Enjoy it. All right? Is that what you wanted to watch the masterclass for? To learn that? To get permission? Well, there you go. You got permission.
You're very welcome to use it. That's the whole purpose of the masterclass, is to learn from
It's a regular class.
our masters.
Regular people.
Our regular people.
Dragon. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think... No. I admire that you banged on about creativity whilst doing a rabbit routine, sponge bunny routine.
I know. Hello, it's me, Piff the Dragon, with probably my second or third trick from my original act, depending on how much material I had to do. I would take my straw, which has been casually sitting in my bottle of Mike's Hard Lemonade, which I've depleted, and I would say, I'd like to do some, to start with some outdoor survival. That's right, because dragons are very good at surviving outdoors, a bit like Bear Grylls. Do you know who Bear Grylls is? He has a TV show. You ever watch his TV show? I don't. I'm too busy outdoors surviving. Then I would take my little straw and I'd blow it. I think my pilot light's gone out. Luckily, I've got a spare. Watch as I lure a little woodland creature out of their natural surroundings with the promise of a small, tasty treat. Come on, Andy, come on, have a little treat. That's for you.
Thank you.
Oh, when is this going to end? Hi, it's me, Piff the Dragon. Welcome back to my regular class. And now we're going to do, you've heard of the trick that cannot be explained. This is a trick that should not be explained because you shouldn't do this. I don't do this. And you definitely shouldn't. Not like because, oh, don't copy the stuff, make it your own, blah. No, not any of that bullshit, which I don't even believe anyway. No, I'm saying you should not do this because you're probably going to set yourself on fire and maybe die. All right? So just maybe don't do this. But anyway, here's how you do it if you want to do it, when you shouldn't. This started, one of my favorite magicians is a guy called Alan Shaxson. He's dead now, like all the good ones. But when I started in magic, he was a friend of Richard Pinner, who was a good friend of mine, and so we used to do gigs together. And he had a trick called the human gasometer, where he'd blow through like a Bunsen burner tube, and then he had a lamp on it, and he had this big flame going, and it was amazing. It was great, like the audiences loved it. And one time, the Magic Circle had like a flea market or a boat trunk sale, or basically like one of those like sell your old magic prop things. And he was there, and on the table there was a glass tube. And it was for gasometer. And my understanding was that nobody could do this trick. It was Alan's trick. No one could do it. And I said to Alan, can I buy this little glass tube? He said, yeah. And I said, and can I do the gasometer trick with this? And he looked at me and he was like, in his heart, he had some compassion for this poor close-up magician who had become so desperate he dressed up in a dragon outfit for cheap laughs. And he said, okay, you've got nothing going for you. At least I'll give you this. And he said I could do it. And everyone else was very upset because he didn't let anyone else do it. So I was like, okay, how can I make this mine? How can I do a version of this that will be mine? So first of all, I start with the glass tube, and I would put the wick inside it, and I would light the end, I'd blow through it. But what happened was that sometimes I blow too hard, and the wick would fly through the glass tube, catch on fire, and then like just go and set some part of the house on fire. So that wasn't very good. So I was like, well, this isn't very practical. So maybe 6 months went by while I was working on it, and this is what I came up with. These are bubble tea straws. They're boba tea straws, whatever you call. They're very thick. They're 12 millimeters, I think, in diameter, and they come straight. Normally they come completely straight, and you put a bend in them. And I'll show you how to do that by using this one, which I melted a bit when I performed it. Because this is like, the straws are like a one and done thing. You really want to just use a new straw every time you do the trick. Very easy to bend. You get a flame on your lighter. This isn't much of a flame, but it'll probably be enough. And you wanna warm up the plastic so it melts rather than it gets discolored. Okay, so you want to get the flame right in there, and as soon as it does that, there we go, perfect. That's melted a bit. You bend it up and you hold it there for a few seconds. Okay, and to test it, it needs to be airtight. So to test it, you put your finger on the top of the straw and you blow through it. And you shouldn't be able to blow through it like this one. So that's perfect. That's how you put the kink in the bubble tea straw. There are apparently bubble tea straws with the little wavy bit that you can use just to bend the thing round, but they didn't have them when I started doing this trick, and for many reasons, this is a terrible trick to do. So I just used to bend the straw. All right, so that's my prepared straw. Then I would make a gimmick. Now, I'm going to give you some secret knowledge here, all right? It's not even mine to give away, but unfortunately it's useless. And I'll tell you why. When we first started doing this, well, actually, when Alan started doing this, he would just use lighter fluid. And there was a chemical in the lighter fluid that was so flammable that just the fumes would ignite. Then they changed it. They stopped putting that chemical in the lighter fluid. So now when you blow through the lighter fluid, it doesn't work. That chemical was called benzene. And that is in a bunch of cleaning products, like household cleaning products. So when Alan taught me how to do it, that's what we'd use. We use this thing called Top Spot Dry Clean Stain Remover or something. I can't even remember what it was called. And we would soak the wick in this dry cleaning fluid. And when you blow through it, the fumes, you can ignite the fumes and get this flame. We have to use something different, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But when I did it originally, I would just take cigarette filters and I would wodge them up. I would take a straw, I would cut the straw down the middle, and I would then burn it. Has this got lighter fluid on it? Well, we'll find out, eh? No. I would just melt it together. I'd pinch it and melt it together. That's how I'd make these gimmicks. Okay? The problem is if you use glue, then the lighter fluid, which the dry clean stain remover fluid, that just dissolves the glue. So you actually can't glue these. So I would melt these together. As you can see, a little bit like that. And then around the top, I would put an inch-long section of regular straw. And this gimmick, this is a finished one. This gimmick would squeeze inside a regular straw. Okay, so that's what the gimmick looked like. I feel like I haven't explained that very well, but I also feel like that's probably a good thing because you shouldn't do this trick. All right, so that goes in there. Before I would come out on stage, this wants to be like within the first 15 minutes of your act if you do this trick, because otherwise the fluid will evaporate. I would fill it with the dry clean stain remover fluid. Now, that's gone. You can't get it anymore. So I asked Tom, who works with us, and Gabriel, if they could find an alternative, and they did. So this is what this works. It's paint solvent and lighter fluid. It's 60% paint solvent and 40% lighter fluid. This is a terrible idea. You shouldn't do this. But if you do need to do it, this will work. Now, paint solvent on its own works, but you get a blue flame, which is not very visible. So you add the lighter fluid in, and you get that nice yellow flame, so that it can be seen on stage. All right. So you then add that to the wig. I use a little dropper tube. Like, you can get these in drugstores, the empty versions. So I just got an empty one. Use this. Okay. Now this is all over my hands now, which is probably not the best thing to have paint thinner over your hands, but it doesn't matter. Once you've filled it, you then have to blow it to get rid of all of the drops. Again, don't inhale. That's a terrible idea. So now it's just like, it's not dripping, but it's nice and wet. Okay, so you do the trick, you show that nothing happens when you blow it, and then you load this gimmick into the straw. Secretly. Okay. So now when I blow through it, I'm going to ignite the fumes here, and then I'm going to toast a marshmallow. And I start by blowing through it gently, and then at the end I blow through it more and more force to get the flame nice and big, and also then it turns bluer because it gets more oxygen. So here we go. And then once I've set the marshmallow for it, I do normally let it toast a little bit so it becomes. Now, in theory, I think like this is safe to eat, the marshmallow. I always used to give it out to eat, but I don't know. I don't know whether that's true. I mean, it's just a flame. Who knows? You shouldn't do this trick anyway, so none of this, you shouldn't do this. But I would toast the marshmallow, and I would say to somebody in the audience, "Oh, look, a little woodland creature," and then I would lure them on stage with the promise of a small tasty treat, and that's how I would get the next volunteer for my act. And that is a trick that I call Strawometer, after Alan Jackson's Gasometer. You shouldn't do it. Hello, it's me, Piff the Masterclass, here to perform my closing trick from my original act. Sometimes it will be the only trick in my original act, because I started off and I was only given 3 minutes of stage time. So this will be it. This will be all I did. Hello, Andy. Do you have any playing cards? You're going to reach in and you're going to grab any one of the cards. Could be literally any one of the cards. Anyone you want.
This one.
Yeah. Just take it. Just take it. Just take it. This is the second take of this trick, by the way, because I forgot a pen. So I've already done this for about 3 minutes to Andy already. Just take it. Stop being, just take. If you want that card, just reach in and take it. Well, look, I guess you don't want it that much, so just choose a different card. Could be any other card. No? Yes! You're gonna, do you have a pen?
No.
You're gonna write your name on the front of the playing card, the other side. I won't look, all right? Just tell me when you're done. Okay. Vanish.
I'm done.
George, did you just pan over to Andy? You're my camera that I'm doing asides to. Anywhere back in the deck. Could be literally anywhere. There? Good idea. Yeah, no, just put it there. All right. We're going to mix up the cards anytime you want. As I shuffle the cards, you're going to call out stop anytime.
Stop?
No more shuffling.
Okay.
All right. We've got some things over here. I'd like 2 inches, please. Thank you. And break it off. We've also got a piece of totally regular paper. So, and break it off, yeah. Can I have it, please? That's 2 inches, is it?
Yep.
It's 2 inches.
Do you have a ruler?
What's that? No, it's fine.
Okay.
If you believe that, then that's what keeps you going, buddy. Then you go for it. All right. And then we also need a tiny sword. Do you have a tiny sword, Andy?
I left it at home.
Oh my God. Look at my tiny sword. Here we go. Do you remember what your playing card is?
Yes.
Good. Right. On the count of 3, you're going to name your playing card. I'm going to find it like a dragon. 1, 2, 3.
4 of spades.
4 of spades. Is that your name?
Yes,
It's a
it's my
present.
name. Thank you. There's too much fire in this mess.
I set fire to the table.
Good trick. Thanks, Piff.
Hi, my name is Piff the Magic Dragon, and I've just been off camera thinking about every poor decision I've made that has led me here. Let's do the next explanation. This one is called Flash... Okay, wait, I knocked something over. This is the explanation of Flash Stab, which is my name for Bob Swaddling's trick that had some more words in it. He actually called it Crystal Card Stab. Is that what it... What? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Crystal Card Stab, and I think it was named after his daughter's stage name, K Crystal, because I think she used to do it, right? Because that would make sense. So anyway, this was one of the tricks that I was like, this was a trick that when I started doing the act, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good dragon-related trick. I don't really think like that anymore. I sort of think, hey, what's the funniest thing I could do on stage? And start with that premise. But at the time, I was taking the dragon thing a bit more seriously than I do now. So I was like, this is the most dragon trick I could ever do. And I changed it, the method of it, out of practicality / probably more like laziness. So let's talk about the super simple way I do this trick. I just take a deck of cards, and you can't really find these anymore. What it is it looks like a sword, but the base is actually a lighter, and on the hilt of the sword, a little flame goes off. So if you can find one of these, maybe like contact Bob, they're like a couple of $100, and they're great. Maybe you can find one on a magic auction site or something. But that's what you need. You need a crystal card stab by Bob Swaddling. And then I just changed the whole method, because he's got a very clever thing with flash string and a half fake deck of cards that you put it through and you do some weird like wiggly thing and it goes through the cards, and it's all very clever. But this is the version I did in comedy clubs all over the place, and it got me through just fine. You choose a card, let's say the Ace of Diamonds. They write their name on it, and I'm going to just draw an X on it like Jay Sankey would, yeah? Because I believe in crediting. So you take that card, you put it into the middle of the deck, but the important thing is it ends up on top of the deck. Okay, so however you want to get it on top of the deck, get it on top of the deck. Then take a full piece of flash paper, that's maybe 12 inches by 10 inches or something. And what you're going to do is you're going to cover the cards with the flash paper. And after you do, I pivot the top card around like this, and I just bend it as I add on the paper. I bend it and I hold it in this position. So it looks like this. It's around the card. And I fold the flash paper around it. Now, if you're close to it, you can see the card through. So this is not a great method for close-up magic, but I use this on stage. I give the audience the scotch tape, and I get them to break off a couple of inches, and I use that tape to keep the whole thing closed. Then I just put the knife straight through the playing card and the deck, and I leave about an inch, because you don't want it to be you don't want it to be right next to the sword, because otherwise the flame won't get going. And then I blow. Now you have to be a little bit careful here, because otherwise you're just blowing out the flame. So I go blow, blow, and then I'm going to pretend to breathe in as I light it, so it's going to be on fire by the time I do the third breath, right? So this time I'm going to do it a little bit further back so I don't set fire to the table again. And there we go. The crystal card stab. Ta-da! I set fire to the back of my hand on that one, so now it just smells of nothing but burnt hair. Ta-da! Hello, it's Piff the Magic Dragon here with a trick that I probably wouldn't do anymore. I don't think I'm going to do this trick ever again. Anyway, as a result, we haven't really got much performance footage. So here's a clip from like 2012, maybe, when I was young and full of hope. And the camera person was not good, just very bad. So enjoy.
Okay, you've been guarding this toast the whole time with your life. Yeah, haven't caught fire, haven't burned anything. Anything you want playing card? What playing card are you thinking of? Yeah. The what? Two of clubs. Burnt onto the toast again. What does that say, King? What does that say? The two of clubs! Well, thanks very much, ladies. Lovely round of applause, and I do feel validated by it. For my next trick, I need someone in the audience with 2 slices of toast. Is there anyone? Kate, what are the chances of that? Give her a round of applause. She joins us back on stage. Oh, Kate, you're going to love this magic. You're going to over here, Kate, over here. This is a great little magic, Kate. All you need for this is you just need a sheet of newspaper, like that one over there. There we go. You need a little roll of sellotape, like that one just there. Perfect. And you also need a lie-cheating ex-wife, like that one over there. Just try and keep her legs together. Here first, so just take the sheet of newspaper. This is a sheet from the Daily Telegraph. It's a lovely read, ladies and gentlemen. You can pick this up in any newsagent. It's very easy to find, very cheap. And you just take the lie-cheating ex-wife again. You can pick up in any newsagent. Sometimes without even trying. Wrap her up inside the newspaper like this. Now, Kate, can I have about 2 inches of that sellotape, please? Can I have 2 inches of that? I'll take a few of those things. 2 inches, please. And 2 inches. Thanks, Kate. This is beautiful. That would be okay. Now, that sellotape quite expensive. We can do a show next Tuesday. So whenever you're ready, Mr. Sandman, take it away. A little magic trick just for Kate, my ex-wife.
I know, wasn't that camera work horrific? But anyway, let's move on. So this is a trick. I actually did this for a long time, this trick. I probably did it until 2017, I think, around then. And I loved it. I really loved this trick because I felt like it had like some character to it. It wasn't the stuff that other magicians were out there doing normally. It was sort of based on a little bit of truth about my ex-wife, which was, which sort of I always got the feeling I was like, yeah, who's right now? And for all of those reasons, I think that's perfectly good reasons to not do it again. But the main thing I did with my act was, Teller kind of actually said this to me. Teller said, when your act gets too twee, when it gets too much into like dragons and princesses and too fairy tale, it kind of loses something. And also, there's a lot of magicians doing that hitting on women thing, and especially during that time. And I actually think that all of the stuff in the news about all of the terrible things and accusations and abuses of power, all of that stuff that's come up in the last few years, that made me go, yeah, I don't want to do anything anymore, which is like in that realm. So I stopped doing it. And as a result, I stopped doing this trick. But I thought it's an interesting trick for a couple of reasons. And I thought I could go through them now. Interesting thing number one, you need a Barbie doll. It's not a trick with a, deck of cards or something else. It's like a slightly more interesting prop. So this is the Barbie doll. I actually improved the method from the one that we showed, and I'll show you the improved method should you ever decide that you need some hilarious, misogynistic Barbie material in your life. This Barbie's head comes off, not as easy as you think. They're attached with a piece of string normally, so it took ages to get the head off and then figure it all out. So anyway, you take the head off of Barbie, comes on and off. Then you need a newspaper, also difficult to find these days. This is the Las Vegas Review Journal. So I did this trick when I first had a show in Vegas, like I said, like 2015 to 2017. So that's why I used the Las Vegas Journal. And then I have a piece of Scotch tape, which I get a nice cheap laugh from. I placed the Barbie down in the middle of the newspaper. And I placed the neck where the newspaper, at the edge of the newspaper just there. Then I wrap one side of the newspaper over, and then the other side of the newspaper over, so the head of the Barbie is sticking out. Now you want to get a Barbie with a haircut which is all like top heavy. What do you call that? Like a bob? Is that a bob? Bun. A bun. Thank you. It's a bun, because in a minute you're going to steal the head off, and you don't want to get like the hair caught on the newspaper. So you pop the head off, and then as they give me the Scotch tape back, I just come up here and I'm going to drop the Barbie out of the newspaper. There it goes. And throw the Scotch tape in there. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit better because I've got the head of the Barbie here. So I come out, straighten the whole thing. And the music starts. Again, this is another reason why I couldn't do this bit many places, even if I wanted to, was because it was a famous song by Chicago, and that's an expensive track to buy if you're doing a TV appearance. So anyway, the music would come along, and the lyric was, "If you leave me now." So I think I would vanish just before the line. So at the end of the intro, I would do this. And all I'm doing is crushing the head into the newspaper, wrapping the head up, folding the newspaper around it, hitting it a couple of times. And then you can either throw it on the floor, or you can throw it in the case. Whatever it is, you show the Barbie's gone. And then I would hug my volunteer and dance around with them for a little bit. That's how to do the Barbie trick. And I hope you understand why you shouldn't do that one either. Hello, it's me, Piff the Man's Dragon, and my good friend Josh J. Do you prefer Josh or Joshua?
Josh.
Joshua J.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Now listen, I'm just going to put it out there.
Okay.
I used to be a close-up magician. That's how I used to earn all my money. If you've got cheese puffs, you've got some cheese.
You're eating cheese puffs off camera, and I can prove it. Watch this. Sorry to interrupt your
No, don't interrupt it.
Are you ready, George?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh!
I want to go.
No, let me show you how. This is the real work on it. Get under it with your knees. Go under it.
With my knees?
Okay.
You can't even do it. Let me try again. One more. Come on, cheese ball me.
Oh, damn.
Oh, no, you crushed one in.
All right.
That was the father.
Sorry, I was doing a trick. Anyway, what I was going to say was...
A whole family will go suffering this Thanksgiving.
It took me years. Do I still have that stuff on my face?
No.
It took me years to work this out. This is like the close-up stuff that I used to do before I had my Vegas show.
Who said what? That's what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead then. That's your line.
Hello. So anyway, I was close to magician for years, and these are a couple of the tricks that I would lecture, and I published in a little book called called Card Tricks for Money, and I've improved them a little bit, and then I've not done them for 10 years, so now I can't do them anymore.
I'm excited to see this because in the middle of your show, you're doing all this like crazy parlor stuff, and then you do the torn and restored card, and it's like, oh, I forgot. Piff's got good chops.
Yeah, I used to have chops.
Let's see it. We'll be the judge of that.
Well, I'm not. This is why you're here.
Okay.
Because I'll explain the principle, and you tell me whether or not
it's good.
People can use it.
Don't give it. So glad that you chose me. If you'd have given Andy this power,
it would have been a nightmare. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, Joshy. Now, think this needs a bit of a setup before we start, but
Always a good thing to do before the camera starts. But go ahead. It's your masterclass.
excuse me, I'm trying to be out here doing real magic for real people. Now, you're going to name any playing card.
Okay, 7 of spades.
What?
7 of spades.
Oh, come on, really?
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
I'm
Because that's the only card that's under the box.
Come on.
Take a look. Take a look. Little Josh, take a look. Turn it over.
faker.
Jokers are wild. Jokers are
You
wild,
are a
everybody. Jokers are
faker.
wild. It could be any card. Fine. Fine. What did you say? 7 of?
7 of spades.
Okay. 7 of clubs, no? 7 of spades? I don't have the 7 of spades. I've never had the 7 of spades. Ever. Of all of the cards you chose. You chose the one card I don't have. You know why?
What is that?
Because it's under the box.
Come on.
Shut up.
Now he got it right.
There it is.
Now
the
he
7
got
of
it right.
spades. Now it's back. We take the 7 of spades, we paste it back in the deck, and we blow on them. They all vanish. Where are they?
Ooh.
Well, that's where the other card was.
Yeah.
Do you remember the 7 of spades was there?
And now the whole deck.
And now the
is
whole
there.
deck. Oh my God! Take a look, count them, make sure they're all there. They're all
They're
there.
all there.
This time we're going to do it one more time. We're going to place your 7 of spades in the deck,
Okay.
and you're going to do it.
Okay.
Take the card, and now drop it under the box and pull the box back.
Ah.
Come on, show the people.
That's really nice. And absolutely bizarre to see you doing it in a full dragon getup.
Yeah, right. Sort of. It's not. I'm too good for it.
I love it. Is that at all based?
Wait. Start again.
Okay. That's lovely.
One more time.
No, I'm not doing it. You're just
Keep saying it's
dragging
lovely.
on. It's lovely.
Okay.
I've seen Guy Hollingworth do a card to box
Yes.
routine, and is that what kind of inspired this?
Must be.
Yeah.
Because he was my hero
Yeah.
of all time.
All of us in our generation.
So it must be. Because his is great because it
So
only
3
uses.
cards.
Yes, and it only uses the box's space. That's
Yep.
the thing about his,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so this is exactly the same. When you haven't got room to do a big spready card under the box routine, this was good for it. But so there were a couple of things that I think are nice in this routine, and the rest of it is hot garbage. No, the rest of it is fine. So there's a little cut in this box.
Oh, smart. Okay.
So what it does is you can steal a card under there, and you can hold it with your middle finger.
That's how you
And
keep
we-
it aligned.
Yeah, keep it aligned there, and when you have
Very
a
cool.
surface like a close-up mat, you can push down and move it across, and you can and then the card pops out, and you can show this box. It looks totally fine. You can also do it on their hands. I used to do it. I used to get them to hold out their hand, and this is going to look bad for the camera, but for you, that looks fine, right?
Perfect. Absolutely.
Right, and then you push down and
Yeah.
come up with that, and other
Very
cards
cool.
appear in their hand.
That's a smart
So
addition.
that's a nice little tip here, that bit there. And the other thing was, when I load the, so in this case, their card is the Joker, okay? So they have a look. As they do that, I load all the cards under the box. And then I come here and say all the cards vanish, leaving just the Joker, which I think I actually forgot to do in my performance just then.
I don't think you forgot it. I think you're teaching it out of order. First, the dummy card goes.
Yeah, I know,
then
no,
you
but
do
I'm saying that I forgot to show that only my card would remained at the end,
Yeah.
casually by spinning it around.
Yeah, that's very,
Very
natural
casual.
and casual.
There's only one card here, everyone. As I pick it up here, I've established there's one card here, and it's the Joker. They pick up all of these cards. I come here and I do a weird like top change move where I take the bottom card under the box, like that. Okay. So now it seems like I've still got the Joker, and so I can put. And now I'm super ahead.
This is nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this part.
Yeah. So boom.
Boom. Very nice.
Let's rate that out of 10.
Solid 8 out of 10.
Oh, I'm going to give it a 7. But okay, fine. Yeah, good.
Solid. 8
Good
out
little
of
worker.
10. Yeah.
Okay, now the next. Oh, I need that.
We call
Sorry.
that a burner. A Bunsen. Bunsen burner. Nice little burner.
Yeah.
He's not impressed by my knowledge of his country.
I'm going to teach you this one as we do it.
Okay.
Because, can you open those cards?
Also something could have been done before, but fine.
It could have been done, but then we'd have to explain it twice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just...
Let's set it up as we teach
Yeah,
it. Huh?
exactly. Okay. I'm just going to put this in my pocket secretly. All right.
Okay.
Can you choose the 4 of diamonds?
Okay. Yeah.
You sure you want that one?
Yeah,
Great.
definitely.
I don't want to touch it. Fold it in half.
Okay.
This was a weird one as well, and then half again.
Like this?
No, open it up and then fold it in half again. Because they've got to fold a card very neatly in quarters. So I'm already deducting 2 points from this trick score.
Yeah.
They've got to fold it perfectly in half. And now tear it in half.
This way?
Either way, yeah. Okay. Now tear those 2 pieces in half. Oh, you're doing both at the same time? That's lazy, but okay, fine.
I would call it expedient.
Expedient. And when you tear pieces of cards in half, do you always rub them together at your fingertips to feel the soft touch of lamination against
just a natural showman, I guess.
Now you gotta. I'm gonna give you one of these as a receipt. Okay, so you hang on to that. And the other 3 pieces we're gonna leave spread out at fingertips. Piece number 1, piece number 2, piece number 3. Here we go. 3 pieces from here to over there. Yeah. The first piece moved. The second piece is going to go even quicker. If you watch it, you'll see it go. Okay, it's gonna go.
Okay.
Okay, look, this is a bit too much pressure if you watch like that. Oh my God! It went again just now. Yeah. All right, the third one is going to go visibly.
Cheap.
Yeah, it is. And once again, a reason why this material didn't make it to my Las Vegas show. What's that? You want to see it again? That's the larger motion, covers the medium motion. Here we go, the last piece. Whoa, what's that? Now this is the thing I never got down really. This is a bit of the trick that I never really came up with a good method for.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess, the trick's ended. We all just stand around talking about it like we're now best friends.
Okay.
And then I say, hey, you know what? Why don't you just hold on to these pieces that are definitely the same?
Let's restore.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And I only have 75% magical powers. So I can never, it's a curse. I can never restore a card fully.
Okay.
I can only do 75% of it.
Okay.
So
It's still very good.
don't touch me. What do you reckon about this one?
Good. I think it's a very nice idea. It looks great. Looks great up close to do 3 fly with cards.
I guess then why would you want to do a 3-5 with cards? That's the truth of it.
Okay, then why would you teach it in a masterclass?
What?
Well, why would you bring it here?
Because I think there's a good idea in it.
Yeah, I do too. But
All
you're
right.
down on the idea. I think it's really nice.
Okay.
I think it's very expedient. I could see this playing great.
Expedient?
Yeah. Like, instead of doing 2 separate tricks, you
Yeah, right.
go one right into the other.
And also,
It's
if
efficient.
you only got a deck of cards, you don't want to bring out some like $half like
that
you're
are
from
100
the...
years old, yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Like
I
you're
think
a
it's really
pioneer.
sweet.
What?
You
How
gonna
would
take
you
us through it?
What?
Take us through
Oh
it.
my God, this is some bullshit. So you prepare a card, and can you do the 7 of clubs? From here. Yeah. So yeah, you fold a card nice and neatly in quarters, and the magic one, you take the 7 of clubs index and hold that out. The rest of it goes somewhere. This is a bit I think I would change if I was doing it today.
Okay.
I would get a nice switch in there. But and remember, this is not a masterclass; it's a regular class.
Oh,
Okay, so
it's very humble of you.
well, it's also
I
truthful.
don't buy it for a second, but it's
Yeah.
humble of you.
It's also a factual statement.
Okay. So I tear this one.
The audience has to tear that in quarters, yeah. And I would probably do another trick. If I was doing this nowadays, I would probably be doing a trick while they're tearing it into pieces. Wow. Way to cover the awkward silence, Piff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Okay. So in my hand, I've got this piece in a finger palm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take all the pieces. Just adding that one piece on the back. Then I turn the whole thing over and just give them one piece.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm nice and clean. And by definition, they believe there are
3.
3 pieces
Yeah.
left.
So,
then
it gets you ahead for the tournament restored and gets your extra piece for
exactly
3 fly.
for the
Yeah.
3 fly. So then this is essentially Paul Wilson's handling of 3 fly from his DVD from 2001
It's crowded,
or something.
Crowded coins, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So you're gonna all the pieces go in finger palm. You push one out, push the second one out, it goes on top, and these are held with your index finger and middle finger, and the thumb here, so you can move that card. And then the third piece goes on the bottom. Okay, one still in finger palm.
Sure.
Come around here. Make one appear as you pull this one back.
Yeah. Lovely.
Number one. This then goes on top of the other piece.
Steal it both.
And this is super easy. Cover the bottom one and push the whole thing over with your thumb. So you're in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come around here. And this is a tricky move to try and do super cleanly. So I come all the way down, and as I bring my hand down, I just pull that into the finger palm, push the other one up, and this one I just push out into view.
Yeah, great.
Okay. That one goes across magically, or what? Non-magically. Then you produce the piece, and this is another cool bit. Is that if you blow down the card, it vanishes a lot quicker. Look.
Yeah, that's cool. And it looks great from here. Yeah. What?
Does it look great from there?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It looked great when you were in the
Oh, when I was
performance.
doing
Now
it,
you're
yeah.
flashing. Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah. So there, now some finger palm. Then you just count the other pieces on. I count the other pieces into the hand, and I flip the whole lot over, so that now I've got that stack again. And then somehow you got to get this 3/4 card switch places.
I like the switch that you did, which was no switch at all. That was bold. I'm sure magicians will
No,
use
what
that.
about this one?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell when he's serious.
Yeah, I think actually
You will need a switch.
You know what? I think that was what I used to do actually.
Yeah.
I used to have the pieces here, and I used to go into my pocket and steal out the 3/4 piece and come here and do a spellbound thing, and then open up the card,
Yeah.
and then your last piece matches. How about that for a regular class?
Nice.
Let's rate it.
I think the idea is great. I think somebody would have to routine the switch, you
Yes.
know, like to get a marker out or to get the paper clip or something, but that's not tricky. I think it's great.
So you get say.
Another 8 out of 10.
I would give that a 5 at best.
Okay.
All right,
You
Josh.
gotta-
You're very.
You gotta treat yourself better. If you don't have a good self-image, you're not going to be a confident
Or
dragon.
you've got to come up with better material. If you're not doing 9 out of 10s every night, then where are you going to get in life?
That's better.
There you go.
That's the confident dragon we want.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Piff.
Would you like a cigarette?
I'd love one.
Have any cigarette you like?
Okay.
These aren't even mine. I borrowed them.
Nice.
Hey, here's a pen.
Okay.
Why don't you write J or whatever you like on the cigarette?
Okay. Done.
Can wait, I'm in the middle of something.
Okay. I'll cover for you. I
Okay.
actually.
Okay, hold up your hands like this. This hand. Well, no, focus. This hand. Like you're catching a crab or something, or like you have crabs. That's it. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know if I like where this is going.
Don't move. All right, hold the lid back with your finger. Perfect. All right, give me the cigarette.
Is it always this smooth? Also,
Wait, what?
are you John McCain holding a pen for no reason?
Yes. Can you stay out of my life, all right?
That's a nice pen you just happen to be holding.
Look,
right
there
now.
were a lot of decisions that have led to
can't
this
believe
moment.
you're a Vegas headliner in this moment. I can't. Folks, there's a lot to appreciate about the attention to detail here, the routining, the mastery.
Okay, here we go. We're round to attempt number 2.
This is just a normal dragon putting a cigarette in a
You
case.
just close the lid, close it. Carefully.
Don't want to break the thread.
The what?
The thread, no, yeah.
What are you talking about? Okay.
Oh, what are you doing with your
Shut
hand?
up,
there?
shut up.
Looks very
Shut up.
natural. Do you want me to rate this trick now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Open the lid. Think of your cigarette.
Okay. Whoa!
Boom! All the way out of the packet.
Solid 1 out of 10.
Listen, first of all, it's only because you, Vanishing Ink, don't stock good wrist reels anymore. Do you remember the Thread Manager 2?
So
Do
you
remember
thought
that?
the solution to this
Do you
was
remember
to
the
do
Thread
a reel
Manager
with
2?
a pen in a
No,
trick
it's
that
the only
doesn't
one
use
that
a
I got.
pen.
It's the only one that I found
So you thought
that,
you'd just
that has
grab a
enough.
pen, yeah.
Listen, the other two pieces of shit you sent me,
Yeah.
which I won't name because you probably want to try and make money off small children with them, right? Those two things, they have way too much tension on them.
Okay.
Do you remember the TM, the Thread Manager 2? Do you remember that?
Thread
By
Manager
Mark
2.
somebody, maybe Alan. It was incredible. It had thread for days.
This is an ITR?
Yeah,
or-
and it fit up your little sleeve.
Yeah, those ITRs, they don't exist anymore. I don't know why they came
Why?
off the market. I know, they were really good.
They
I
were the
think it's-
best.
I think it's because there's some holdup that it is copyrighted and they didn't sell the rights and the guy's not
Oh
doing
my,
them.
I'm here. Please, if you don't bring back the ITRs, this is what we have.
Yeah.
Pens that you just have to have somewhere on you for no reason whatsoever. I mean, why?
I'm sure it's a great product in its own right.
Where am I supposed to carry this, Igel? Where?
Maybe in your dragon pocket.
I don't have a pocket there. I got rid of it on Generation 3.
So you just thought that for this masterclass, you'd take
yeah.
a totally normal prop like a cigarette that kids are going to have,
Yeah.
and you'd just do kind of a casual hookup
This
like
used to be
that.
one of my favorite workers. I used to have a little wrist wheel. I used to have a wrist wheel, okay? And I would just stick it on the bottom there.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So look, let's do this. Let's just pretend it's up there.
Okay.
Oh, I could have done it on this actually. Oh yeah, look. In fact, if you
It
click
would have
here-
been more natural for you to have a pen sticking out of your sleeve than what you did.
Okay, so look, I have it there, right? Look, this is a wrist wheel. Okay, it goes on there.
Yeah.
Reach and grab a cigarette.
Yeah.
That one. Then watch this. I now rotate the reel around the
This is already
thread around the
much
box. Okay. Yeah,
Much
exactly.
better.
Right. Now I open up the packet. Now this is the tricky bit.
You have to put it right on the thing.
You have to put it on the thing. So let's just try it.
Well, I can't do it.
What?
I'm not performing
What's
the
that?
trick.
I can't see it. Also, you need the eyesight of a 20-year-old to do this trick.
I hope we can make a trailer of just this trick so that all of you at home can see how the meat is made. I think the lesson that we've learned here is that Piff is nothing more than a figurehead for
I
an
did it.
organization.
I got it in. It's set. Now the other reason why this reel is because on the thread manager thing, the one by Mark somebody, it was so loose. Is that the word?
A master never blames his equipment.
Wait,
but anyway,
it was
as
so.
you were,
What happened was
Yeah.
when you pushed the cigarette
It
down,
would just
it
get-
unspooled.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is like no, it's just hanging on. Like okay now, so look that. Oh God, is it gonna break? Oh. Now I've pinched the thread. Now you hold that. And now you hold this back. Okay, now let go, and then you can control how slowly it rises. And then when you get to like here, you can jerk your hand up, and it breaks. Well, so anyway.
Well, that went well, I thought.
Anyway,
I think we've given.
no, I'm just saying that.
I think we've
I'm
given
just
them
saying
great value
that,
here.
Look,
There's
I'm
a
just
lot
saying
to
that,
learn.
That basically, when the cigarette jumps out, they want to look at it, and so I take the cigarette pack back and I do the cleanup of it.
When you
so.
were doing the outline to your masterclass and you envisioned this going well,
I
like,
envisioned
when this was
a
actually going to
magic
go well, did you think to
company
yourself,
selling a responsible thread reel to the public
A
instead of some
trick with
bullshit one
cigarettes.
disguised as an iPhone watch
That's a
that has
great
all the
idea.
tension news is to bring in a tugboat or something.
on behalf of everybody here, we want to thank you for attending this masterclass. We hope you've got a lot of wonderful ideas, practical things you can do anywhere, like cigarette magic with reels that they don't sell
I don't even
anymore.
want the pen. Don't even want it. I didn't pay for it and I don't want it. How about that?
I can't believe we paid you for this masterclass.
You didn't.
That's true.
Thank you for watching Piff the Magic Dragon Masterclass, starring me, John, regular human. Next, that's not the end of the masterclass. There's another part. There's a whole other part. Next week in part 2, we'll be covering some really cool bits. There's one bit actually that we weren't going to give away, and it's a trick with a name. And we haven't even polished it anywhere else. But I thought, well, we've recorded it. Let's just do it. So enjoy that. I think you're going to like all that stuff coming next week. A couple of things I want to go over right now. I forgot in the card on the box routine, the way that I used to do it was, I forgot this when I was going through it with Josh. The Joker would be under the box initially. So they name a card, and I say, look under the box, and it's the Joker. And I say, pick up the Joker, I say, look under the box, pick up the card. As they pick up the Joker, I load their correct card under it. But what I do next is, I say, you know what? The Joker knows where your card is. And I take the Joker and I have the Joker whisper into my ear. I say, where's the card? Okay. And then I say, the Joker says your card's under the box. So that way it was like straight to the punchline. And I wasn't like going through the deck, saying, oh, what was your card? There it is under the box. So that was the way it should have been. I forgot. Also, a second note. Oh man. Another note about the cigarette trick. Now, I asked Andy and George to send me some wrist reels because I needed a great wrist reel. I used to use a thing called the TM Generation 2 Thread Manager by Mark Allen. You can't get it anymore. I've tried. You just can't. I've tried for ages actually to track one down. You cannot. But this reel, you could get like 20 feet? No, that's probably too much. 12 feet. You get 12 feet. It would unspool 12 feet with no tension at all. It was incredible, this reel. And so I used to use it for that trick, and it worked like a dream. I'd have it up my sleeve, attach it to the bottom of the box, rotate it, put the cigarette in. So that was a bit of a disaster doing that trick, but I just want to say that regardless of what Joshua J may think or say, it's a very nice bit, and it's covered in the bonus book that we're giving you, Card Tricks for Money, which you can download somewhere. I don't know where they're going to put it, but you can download it. So have a look at the book, check out the handlings. There are a bunch of other close-up magic tricks that I used to do in that booklet. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And I won't see you next week because I'll be back in my dragon outfit. I'm just doing this like a couple of weeks later because I forgot to say a few things. So this is the last time you'll see present me. Goodbye.